Good morning, students. In the previous class, we discussed about the Indian Constitution. Now, I am going to speak about the second lesson in central government in civics. The central government is the supreme government in our country. The headquarters of the central government is at New Delhi. Article 52 to 79 in Part 5 of our Indian Constitution deals with the executive, union executive. The central government consists of three organs, namely Union Executive, Legislature and Judiciary. The Union Executive consists of President of India, Vice President and the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister and Attorney General of India. Now, let's know the names of our executive body in our government. President Sri Ramnath Kovind, and he is our 14th President. Vice President Mr. Venkaiah Naidu. Prime Minister of our country Sri Narendra Damodar Das Modi, 16th Prime Minister of India. Attorney General Sri K.K. Venugopal. Now, I am briefing the lesson with important points as headings. Each headings will be explained clearly. Pay your attention, listen the class with a paper or note and pen. Try to take down notes. Now, the first topic is President and qualification to be a President and election of the President, term of office, impeachment, powers of President. Now, President. In the scheme of parliamentary system of government provided by the Constitution, the President is the nominal executive authority. The Chief Executive of Indian Union is the President. He is designated as the first citizen of India. So, President is our first citizen of our country and he is the constitutional head of the Union Executive. The executive power of Union shall be vested in the President. The President of India resides at Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi. And the picture you can see Mr. Rajendra Prasad. He was the first President of India. In the previous lesson, you learnt about Rajendra Prasad, who was a member of the drafting committee of the Constitution. However, the President has two other office cum residences where he conducts the office at least once a year. That is, the two houses are, one is the retreating building at Shimla and the other one is Rashtrapati Nilayam at Hyderabad. And next comes the qualification of the President. He should be a citizen of India. First, the qualification, a President must be a born citizen of our country and he must have completed the age of 35 years. He must not hold any office or profit under the union, state or local government. He should have the other qualification required to become as a Lok Sabha. His name should be proposed by at least 10 electors and secondary by another 10 electors of the electoral college which elects the President. And the President is also the head of the executive power and the Rashtrapati, they are the retreating building, okay. And the 76th Amendment Act of 1976 mandatory for President to accept the advice of the Council of Ministers. And Dr. Rajendra Prasad, you see, he was our first President of India from 1950 to 1962. You know, the first women President of India is Pratibha Patil from 2007 to 2012. And she is our 12th President, followed by the missile man of our country, whom? That is APJ Abdul Kalam. Okay, and now the qualification for the President. And what is the qualification? As I told, he should be the citizen of India. And next, he must have completed the age of 35 years, not below than that or not exceed. And he must not hold any office or profit under any government. That is, he should not be a government post and he should have the qualification. And now, as I told, electoral college. What is meant by electoral college? It is not a place to learn. A college. College means it's not a place to learn and get a degree. It is a temporary body which elects the president. So the electoral college is the temporary body which elects the president. It consists of elected members of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. The electoral college consists of members of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, that is MPs and MLAs. MPs, member of parliament. MLAs, member of legislative assembly. And secondly, it has elected members of legislative assemblies of state and elected members of the legislative assemblies of union territories, that is Delhi and Puducherry. Legislative council do not vote in the election of press. So next, what is proportional representation? That is, it characterizes the electoral system in which election are reflected proportionally in the elected body. That is, to make you easily understand, on the ratio based, that is called. And next come term of office. Term of office. He can resign. The president can hold the office for 5 years. He can resign there, and by writing to vice president, he can withdraw his post. And the president can hold the office until the next successor arrives. In case president feels resigned or the vice president will not act as a president, if both the posts are vacant, the office the Chief Justice of India will occupy till the election is carried over. Next, powers of the president. Powers can be classified into executive power, legislative power, judicial power, military power, diplomatic power, and emergency power. First, executive power. Executive power. The president possesses some executive, that is, he has to make many appointments to key officers to run the administration. He appoints the Prime Minister and the members of the Council of Ministers, distributing portfolios to them on the advice of the Prime Minister. He is responsible for making a wide variety of appointment. He is the Supreme Commander of the Defence Force of India. And legislative power. The president is an integral part of the Union Parliament. He inaugurates the sessions of the Parliament by addressing it after the general election and also at the beginning of the first session each year. That is, once in 5 years we have that election. No. So after the election is conducted, the parliamentary meetings should be, the first session should be addressed by the president. And the president summons the parliament at least twice in a year. All bills passed by the parliament becomes laws of act only after getting the assent of the parliament. That is, act is before the signing of president, it is called as a bill. So after assignment from the president, it becomes the law of act. And he can dissolve the Lok Sabha before the expiry of the term of office. We know that Rajya Sabha is the permanent house. It cannot be dissolved. So he has the right to dissolve. The president can write the dissolving the Lok Sabha before the expiry of the term of house. And he nominates 12 persons who is eminent in literature, science, sports, art and social service to the Rajya Sabha. And next, financial power. Money builds finance. Financing means about the monetary fund of the country. Money bill can be introduced in the parliament only with his prior recommendations. Annual budget of central government is presented before the Lok Sabha by the Union Finance Minister only with the permission of the President. And we all know that we, even in our home, we make budget to run our family. Okay, according to the income of the family, we prepare the budget. So it is the duty of the government also to prepare the annual budget for the country. Okay, and contingency fund of India is at the disposal of the president. Contingency fund, whenever the country is in need of the fund which is reserved for future, that can be used by the acceptance of the president. He has the power to dispose that fund, and he constitutes a finance commission after every 5 years. And next, judicial power. So far we have discussed about the executive power, legislative power, financial power. Next, judicial power. So Article 72 confers on the president power to grant pardon, reprieve, respite or remissions of punishment, or to commute the sentence of any person convicted of an offense. And second, where the sentence is a sentence of death, the president is not answerable to any court of law. He can be subjected to impeachment by the parliament. That is, as Article 72, he appoints the Chief Justice. He appoints the Chief Justice and the judges of Supreme Court and High Court. He can ask advice from the Supreme Court regarding a question of law, but the advice is not the binding. In any case where the punishment is made by court martial, that is, he has the power to deal that case where it is by court martial. And any case when offense is not against the union law. What is that? Whenever the law is breached or against the union law, the president can consider that case. And in any case which sentence of death is granted. So killing, death should be occurred by nature. So due to the punishment, if any imprisonment is given to the citizen, he can be considered. And next, judicial. After 72 article on the president power to grant pardon, deprive. This is the thing, reprieve and pardons. Pardon means what? To excuse it. And next, military power. Article 53 part 2 lays down the supreme command of the defense force is the shall be vested in the president. And military power, so he appoints the chief of the army, naval and air force of our country. And next, diplomatic power. Diplomat, the president appoints Indian diplomat to other countries and receive foreign diplomat posted to India. That is, here they have a contact with the foreign and India. They act as a bridge between the country with the other countries of the world, and that power is vested with the president. And emergency power. Emergency, at a time of emergency or uncasual situation in the country, the president has been empowered by the constitution to proclaim emergency. Emergency by declaring that the government in a state cannot be run on in accordance with the provision of the constitution. Under the article 360, the president is vested with the power to proclaim financial emergency if he is satisfied that the financial stability or the credit of India or any part of India is threatened by any reason. So there are three types of emergencies. First one, the national emergency. Article 352 holds the power of national emergency. Where are the situation on the ground of war, when the nation is facing the war with other countries or with the external aggression, that is the attackment from the boundaries of our country, and armed rebellion. In all these three cases, that is called the national emergency. And Article 356 deals with the state emergency. When the state fails to run the government, the president can proclaim the state emergency. And Article 360 deals with the financial emergency, when the country is in demand for the financial stability of the country or the credit of India or any part of India is threatened by any reason. And next, removal of the president, that is called as the impeachment. The president may be removed by writing under his hand address to the vice president resign his office. That is, he can give in writing to the vice president that he wants to remove from his post. And the president may, for violation of the constitution, be removed from. That is, no one is having the right to remove the president from his part unless he himself voluntarily wants to move. Okay. And Article 61, the impeachment action can be brought about in the form of resolution in the either house of the parliament. Suppose through impeachment, if he want to be relieved, so it is the resolution must be brought out by the either house, either by the Lok Sabha or by the Rajya Sabha. It must be supported by not less than 1/4 of the total strength of the house for introduction. Okay. And next, so far no president of our country is impeached. According to the Article 361, the president or the governor of state shall not be answerable to any court. And so far you learnt about to the president, how the president of the country is elected, and what are the qualification of a president to be a president, and what are his powers, and what are his functions, and how he can be removed. Okay. Unless if anyone is violating the constitution, a president is not impeachable or removed from his post.